great time together. Um, we're waiting for our guests to join us. Yeah! Today I'm receiving Chef Lemaire, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to learn more about his background, how it started, and I hope we all gonna have a good time. And if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to type it on the chat, and we're gonna start. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing it well.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start. I'd like to know how you started with all that culinary stuff. What got you into cooking and food and everything? I know we're Haitian and we love to eat, but
um, wow. I got into food pretty a crazy way, I guess. Um, I love food. So when I was growing back up in Haiti, um, whenever I wanted to eat and whatever I wanted to eat, there was always restrictions. Parents would be like, "No, you have to eat for breakfast or you have to eat for dinner, whatever." So I had to find a way to get myself in the kitchen to cook for myself. So, and so what I started doing was I started paying attention to the whoever was cooking. I paid
okay.
attention to what they were doing, and I just started learning by memory. And then I would go to the kitchen on my own. In Haiti, there are two kitchens, right? There's the in-house kitchen and there's the
Yes,
outdoor kitchen. So I would be in the outdoor kitchen, recreating whatever they were teaching, whatever I would see. So whatever I used to see they do, I would do the same steps, not knowing the reason why, not
wow.
knowing um what 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 would be the outcome if I did something different. I just knew that's what they did. I just followed, and that's pretty
That
much that's what got me to food. Um, so I started paying attention to that. So I started cooking for myself, and then started cooking for my friends. And the more I cook, the more I realize that I love cooking.
that's amazing. So you were just like trying stuff out without any recipes.
No recipes, no guidelines, nobody telling me what I'm supposed to do. I just did it by looking at what they were doing.
That's amazing. Wow. I feel so inspired right now. And talking about inspiration, did you have anybody specific who inspired you where you were getting into it? Some people like you used to watch, or either it was your mom or some sisters, cousins.
No, no, like really, like in the beginning, nobody really inspired me pretty much. Uh, if you looking back down history in the 80s and 90s in Haiti, there was no such thing as culinary arts, right? So it was not considered as a job, a career. So people who used to cook would be mostly maids or wives of people in like political positions that would cook plenty meals whenever they have guests over at their house.
Okay.
So in the beginning, I just did it because out of necessity, because I love food and I wanted to feed myself. So I didn't have no inspiration pretty much. Um, I didn't have any role models to look up to. Nobody I could see on TV say, "Oh, I want to be just like that person." Yeah, they had that TV show on TV in Haiti called Bon Appetit and Bon Santé, right? But it was never something to the level that we see now on TV, right? So I didn't have that inspiration. I didn't have nobody to look up to, somebody I could model myself to. I just did it. I just went in, did it, and the more I did it, the more realized that I loved it. Um, I used to do theater also back in the days, so I learned to entertain. So I found that it was easy for me to entertain with food.
Oh. So what made you decide to go for it? Like, what was the final event, or what was the last thing? Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so while I was in high school, and we know in the Haitian community, it's either you're a lawyer, doctor, engineer, nurse, and that's it, right? Or else
Yes.
you're so I'm in high school, and then we're gearing towards the final years in high school. And most of my friends are like, "Oh yeah, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. I want to go to law school." And I'm like, "Damn, I don't want to do something typical." And I'm like, "I don't want to do something typical. I don't want to do something that everybody else is doing. I feel like I'm gonna be in a system again and just doing things that everybody else is doing."
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that there was no culinary school in Haiti, well, there was, but nothing to the level that I would want. I was debating. So at first, I considered going into hospitality management at FIU in Miami. And then one of my friends, she was like, "Oh, I know you love to cook. My school has a culinary program. Come and check it out." So now I have to tell you, my mom, my dad, my brother, my family members, neighbors, some of my friends, nobody supported my decision to
That's the
go.
part I was gonna get into.
Right? Nobody supported it because and today I understand and I forgive them because if you don't know something, if you're not familiar with something, it sounds crazy, right? It's not crazy to everybody that I don't even think it's right? Like, iba guys I like this out as well, but it was crazy. So nobody believed in me. Nobody wanted me to do it. Even when I went to visit the school, my mom was like, "Oh, why don't you just do the hospitality management program first? And if you're still interested afterwards, you can go for culinary." So in their minds, it was something wild and crazy in my head. It was probably in their mind, it was my rebellious side, probably trying to do something to make them mad or whatever. But then didn't have no clue how much went into it. Myself,
Yeah.
I didn't know what went into the culinary world myself. I just knew that I love cooking and I wanted to further educate myself in it. But I did not know that food would take me where I am today. So once I walked into the school and they started to do the tour with us, within 5 or 10 minutes of the tour, I said, I don't need to see anymore.
Wow.
Sign me up. My mom was like, "No way, what are you talking about?" I said, "No, mom, this is what I want to do. Like, whether you like it or not, whether you guys approve it or not, this is what I will do." And I went in.
I'm just so excited that you didn't give up, and I know I'm not the only person. Thank you for your perseverance because we wouldn't have you today, and it's great to have such an amazing representation for, like, especially us Asian. We are so proud to have
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
my next question is, what's the most important things that you have learned so far?
Oh, okay, so
And it's a two-part question. How was your life before you learned that lesson, and what's different that make for you right now, today?
okay. Um, I would say that food has played an instrumental part in my life, right? I would say that before I moved to the States, I was a little bit rebellious. I was a little bit, you know, just do. I never liked to be inside of the box. I never liked it. I always wanted to experience things. I always wanted to learn how to do things and how things operate, right? So I never like to be in that box. So I would be the guy during the summertime or the weekends. I would just disappear, spend the whole day out with my friends, going and experimenting things. You know, God, we don't know how we ate, where we ate. We just ate
Wow.
and had, right? Um, but also I was a little disordered. I'm not gonna lie.
A little, a
You
little.
know, and getting involved in the food industry has taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of discipline. Um, Not that I didn't have discipline in high school. I did have a lot of discipline in high school. You know, on top of the discipline, you had a little fear for your parents. You know, the fear of disappointing them, the fear of
Yeah.
messing up, and stuff like that. Um, but being in the food industry really taught me how to discipline myself. So because when I came into the States, yes, I spoke English, I wrote English, I wrote English, but it was transitioning from high school because I graduated high school in Haiti.
Okay.
So it was transitioning from high school where 80%, 90% of everything was in French to coming here and then transitioning straight into English.
Wow.
Everything you do in English,
Yes.
all the terms in English, ingredients in English. So I had to discipline myself to the point where the other students would work averagely, I had to work 2, 3 times harder
Yeah.
just so I could catch up to their knowledge of ingredients, of terminologies, and all that stuff. So, and that discipline carried along in my life also. Um, you grow up, you become more mature, you get to experience things in life. You make better choices now.
Yeah.
But the food industry taught me that,
Okay.
and also because I wanted to jump into my own business, I had to learn, and I had to learn it fast because when you work for a business, you can afford to make certain mistakes because the business is big enough it can be
Yeah.
covered, right? And there are systems in place to help you and everything. But once you start working for yourself, there's no system in place unless you establish them. So for you to be able to establish those systems, you have to be aware of it. You have to be disciplined and organized. So I had to learn that.
Chapeau bas. My next question is, what would you say that your biggest accomplishment is to date?
Wow. Um, I mean, I have a few. Um, I would say,
More than a few.
yeah, I would say number one is sustaining a business for the last 8 years,
Okay.
right? For the last 8 years, we have been 8 years. Oh no, 9 years. It's been
Okay.
9 years now. We've been in business by ourselves, right? That's an accomplishment of its own. I would say this other ones would be competing on Food Network twice,
Yeah.
uh, and counting.
I know.
Um, Also being able to cook for some presidents, stuff like that. I live in London when you get called and asked to do something.
Awesome. All great stuff. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, thank you.
And I know we spoke about your parents and you know how hard it was, but today, how would they describe what you're doing finally after they finally see the result, the end result?
Um, my mom, she's like the biggest supporter now, right? Um, and sometimes she be telling me stories about when people see her, talk to her, and then they know her last name, and they're like, "Hold up, is Chef Lemaire? Are you related to Chef Lemaire?" I'm like, "Yeah." That's my son. And I'm like, wow, how our times have changed, right? So she's super proud whenever I visit and I go see her or she's at work. She can't wait to present me to her colleagues. Oh my God. Oh, this is my son, Chef Lemaire. So, you know what? I can't be mad at that. I'm happy she's happy. So that's what matters.
I can only imagine because as a mom myself, I don't know. Like, I, I know, but I don't know. But all right, that's awesome. Share with us something that people tend to misunderstand about you.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, I'm fun. I'm fun. I'm outgoing. I like to joke a lot. I like to have a good time. But when it's time to focus in the kitchen, I focus, right? Like I'll go from joking around to like
Uh oh.
straight, straight face, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Okay.
I'm not in a bad mood. It's just that I'm so focused on what I'm doing, and people tend to think that, oh my God, why
It's
is
like
he
you
so
got an
mean?
intimidating face. Like,
Oh, I don't know if I can approach him. And it's so funny that I'm just lost into what I'm doing. Like you might call my name and I don't even hear you because I'm so lost into what I'm doing that I'm in that state of mind. Um, One thing that I would say that is the discipline that my parents taught me, the discipline I learned from my high school in Haiti, um, and the way the system is back in Haiti has made us very um, we're tidy. We want to go straight to the point. We want to make sure that whatever we're doing is the best that we
yeah.
can do. We compete amongst ourselves with ourselves. So whenever I'm in the situation when I'm doing something, and whether it be something that I've done 1,000 times before, I believe in always giving your best at everything that you do, right? I might have done this chicken recipe 1,000 times before, but every time I'm doing it for a different client,
Yeah.
I'm sure that I am laser focused because I want to make sure that every client gets the best service possible.
Thank you.
So
That's
people,
awesome.
so
And,
people tend
and
to
and
think
we
that,
all know there's a time for everything, right? Time to life,
yeah,
time to work. We can't be like
exactly,
going around
exactly,
24/7. Otherwise, we
exactly.
wouldn't have Chef Lemaire, right? All right. This next one is it's not silly, but it's a bit silly. But I like to ask it to all my guests, right?
All
Um,
right.
what's the best compliment you have received so far?
Ooh, best compliment.
I
I
know
had a
that
client.
we already know
I
you're a great cook. We want
I had
something
some.
different.
I had a bride who cried after the wedding reception.
She drove to
She cried.
what?
She cried. She came into the back of the kitchen and she was crying. And I'm like in my head, like, oh my God, we done messed up her wedding. Oh my God. She's I'm like, I'm freaking out. And then she comes to me and gives me this big hug. She's like, oh my God, you gave me everything that I've ever imagined and beyond.
Well,
And she was like, wow. Like that to me has to be one of the biggest compliments I've ever received.
oh my gosh, you make me so emotional right now. I want to tear it up. Wow, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing with us. Oh, all right. I'm another one. Talk about like okay, I'll hold it in. But that's really beautiful. I think it's beautiful. All right. So now if you had what advice would you give to your 18 years old self?
Oh, my 18-year-old self. I guess Be smarter in some of your decisions. Um, be patient.
Mm.
Listen and practice and work as you go the right way.
Mm. That's
Like,
good.
a lot of the stuff that I learned, I ended up learning them late in my life.
Hmm.
Um, but they always say that everything that happens is for a reason. There's a lesson in everything.
Yeah.
But if I could give myself, my younger self, uh, some advice, that would be it. Yes.
That's interesting because a lot of people mention patience, and I feel like it's really big, I guess. As teenagers, we want to rush through things. We think we know
Right?
everything. We don't listen. And we want to grow up
Yeah.
so fast. I can't wait to be an adult. And then
But
once
once
you
you're
get
an adult,
there, then what was I thinking? Nobody
yeah,
mentioned that part. Like they didn't give us that lesson in high school. No, we didn't have that. No, I want to go back now. Can somebody take care of me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. Next question. Where do you see yourself in a few years?
In a few years, I want to retire from having to cook in the kitchen,
You want
right?
to what? I'm sorry.
I want to retire from having to cook,
Mmm.
right? Not that I want to cook, but having to cook, right? I don't want to be in the kitchen by necessity. I want to be in the kitchen because I just want to be, right?
Mmm.
So I want to be able to grow the business to a point where I have a team of people that can make things happen without me physically being in the
Great stuff. We're gonna keep you in our prayers, and we hope it's gonna happen.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
Um, what advice would you give to somebody who want to pursue the same career?
Oh, okay. Um, the biggest misconception that has been going on is that because of all those shows going on TV,
Mm-hmm.
everybody thinks that it is an easy road, right? It's you just get in and then you're on social media and then you
You
blow up, you become
arrive.
famous, right? Which is not true. Um, like hard work, dedication, like I said earlier, patience, listening to those who were already in the industry before you. Listen, that's a great thing to do, to listen, because when you become too cocky, you crash and burn. So you don't want to get to that stage where you start crashing and burning, right? And nobody wants to deal with a chef that's arrogant or
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful, right? Unless you're Gordon Ramsay and you know your stuff, right? But um, if you first start the industry, you need to eat a big piece of a humble pie, right? You need to be able to swallow your pride. You need to be able to, when you get criticized, that you don't react in return, or like, oh, why you telling me this, or you trying to blame
Yeah.
other things that are unrelated to the situation. I've encountered employees and that work for other people where they're like, oh, they don't want to work for them anymore because they're treating them bad because they're black. It's not always the case. It can be the case, but it's not always the case. Like sometimes we mess up and we refuse to admit that we messed up and that we want to fix it.
Got
So
it.
advices would be, hard work, dedication, always learn, willing to learn, because everything changes in the world. Food also changes.
Of
The food
course.
industry changes a lot also, right? Like look at how we where we went from. We went from floppy disk to this. to CD to DVD, um, to having the USB drives, right? And now from having the cloud. So
I know.
things just evolved so fast over these years, and food has evolved also. So you always want to learn and stay up to date with the new trends and things that are happening, right? You don't want to be stuck in the 80s and we're in 2021.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you. And humility is such an important thing because nobody wants to be around you when you're not humble. But stinky attitude, we don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, they might be around you, but whenever the time comes to to be there for you, they won't be there. They'll just let you drown on your own.
Okay.
Right?
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Favorite thing to cook for myself or just in general?
In general.
In general, um, I like to cook seafood. Nothing in particular, but just seafood. I also love to cook meats, like short ribs, steaks, stuff like that. Um, and funny thing is, I don't like to do anything that's too heavy. I like to cook light food, light and vibrant food, right? Um, like couscous, um, stuff like that, like healthy stuff that are light, bright, and color because I love colors. But I know that you always think with your eyes first. So I always
Yes.
want to hit it with your eyes
You're
so you
attracted
see
to.
the attracted to it. Exactly. Right? There's when people say, "Oh, it's what inside that matters." No, but something on the outside has to attract me first,
That won't
right?
lie to them.
Something on the outside has to attract me first, right? So otherwise, I'll never know what's inside.
Somebody obviously lied. And what was your can you share with us like the story of your worst dish?
Oh, story of my worst. Hmm. I don't remember exactly what happened or the whole scenario, but I know that, and it still happens now, bro. Like it happens. You always get those mishaps. You either burn something or, oh yeah, I was doing right one
You were
time,
doing rice.
and then um, I love using kosher salt,
Okay.
right? And especially the coarse one, because I can gauge more how much I'm putting in the food. So
Mm.
that day I did not have kosher salt, so I was using regular iodized fine salt.
Wow.
So I put the same amount that I would normally use for kosher salt, right?
Okay.
But the weight of the kosher salt, if it's the same weight you put it in the fine salt, you're
Mm-hmm.
putting too much fine salt.
Mm.
So I did not realize I was doing that at the moment. In my head, I'm using kosher salt, so I'm just pouring salt, right?
Oh my
And then,
goodness. Okay.
so here I am, rice is done, and then I'm tasting rice, and I'm like, wait, hold on. So I started going in, tasting every little corner of it to see if it was one area, and then that's when I realized that, oh my God, like the whole rice is salty. And I had an hour to go make a delivery. So I had to rush to the store, go back a new bag of rice, and start all over.
Did you made it?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Thank God. Okay. Well, I guess you were putting salt. I don't know. And right now, I know you're on Facebook, Instagram, but you also mentioned you have your businesses. So, where can somebody find you if they're looking either for catering or I don't know, general information, advice? I know you're a
Okay.
very reachable person, so can you let us everybody know where they can find you?
You can find me personally on almost every social media outlet: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, um, TikTok, you name it, under Chef Lemaire.
Okay.
Right? As far as our business, it's Sensory Delight Catering on Facebook and Instagram. And you can find us online also at sensorydelights.com. And you can just go on there, you'll see examples of the work we do, what we do, and how we operate.
Thank you so much for being with us today. That's all the question that
Thank
I had
you.
for you. And
Thank
I
you.
wanted to mention, I promised one of my friends because she really loved you. She like, oh my gosh, Chef Lemaire, he was a couple. He was a, so I was like, okay, I'll say hi. Okay, calm down, chill, relax. So her name is Rashida Honora, and she's currently watching. So I just wanted to let you know you have like a huge fan called Rashida, and she said hi. I hope she's happy now and she'll leave me alone. And and thank you. And like I mentioned the other day to Serge, you're one of the people that make us proud to be Haitian, and
Thank
we
you.
really honor and salute your work. And I don't know if you had a lot of opportunity. You probably had, but I wanted to make sure I say that your work is amazing, and
Thank
we
you.
support you, we follow you, we love you. You make us proud, and just keep up the good work, and keep making
Yeah.
us proud.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot.
And on the personal note, I really appreciate you taking the time and do this live with me today. And like I said, you're very reachable, very humble, and I really like that about you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And everybody who joined, thank you. There's a couple of people, Claf La Fontaine, um, Lindy, Vanessa, our friend Rashida, and I'm not able to see all the comments. LeCompte Rose said she's been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, that's my heart.
A couple of hi, and I think your aunt said hi.
Yes.
And yeah, and that's all I had for you today, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And I can't wait to see you guys next week for another amazing guest on the show with Conversation with Joe. And everybody have a nice Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.